Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest of the Overboard Network, a Below Deck podcast. We're back with season 3 of episode 15 of Sailing Yacht. Sean, instead of naming the title episode something about cooking with a heavy heart, Bravo goes full Bravo in naming this episode Salty Seaman.
Did Gary must have he thought it was so funny during the episode. So I think he recommended this or kind of pushed.
He pushed for it, I think. Yeah.
Or his reaction just pushed him towards it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe they could do a little bit better going forward. In this week's episode, Marcos puts on a show despite his personal loss. The crew goes up against the guests in a race, and Gary gets in more hot water with Daisy by flirting with one of her stews. We'll go over who won and who lost the episode and go over our question of the week, and then we'll thank a fan for a review. As always, you can email us at belowdeckpod@gmail.com to submit life advice questions you have. Let's bring in my co-host. Now, Sean, the race between the crew and the guests was pretty entertaining. What were your thoughts on the crew not letting the guests win?
I like it. It's very like Michael Jordan-esque, right? Like I feel like there's stories of him like at his basketball camp, not like letting the kids win. Or I've heard those stories. To be fair though, Gary and Scarlett do lose their individual sailing race.
It was pretty bad chemistry there. I think Scarlett might be done with Gary just after that race.
John, I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to this, and girls too. If you like chose a girl as your beer pong partner, like in college or at a party, you guys don't do well. I feel like I don't know.
That's it. You get one shot, man.
If you just get killed, sometimes that's it. Yeah. So did Scarlett lose respect for Gary for not winning that race?
Yes, very much so. And it was evident throughout the episode.
Was. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the best look for Gary. Actually, I also thought like Barnaby didn't have a good look in this because like, wasn't he like a sailing instructor? And yet they were just kind of like floundering out there with Ashley.
That's very, I'm sure the internet will blame Ashley for that.
Yes.
For that loss. But yeah, no, you're right. Somehow they won though. It was, so after they did the, what are those little mini sail things? Is that what you call those?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what to call those things, but I guess they did way better the paddleboard race. And then that was the victory. That was the difference.
Yeah. I didn't understand what was the whole thing. And I missed it and I went back and I still didn't see it. Like, was Ashley really that upset that she wasn't part of like the team? It was a 4-person team. And like they had to make it 6. Like I didn't understand why she was the one who was causing this whole like thing where they had to make it 6 people.
Well, right, because it was originally 4-on-4, and I'm guessing Gary's going to pick Scarlett. He's going to pick Kelsey or Daisy, and he's going to pick his boy Colin.
Yeah,
Ashley does not like to be left out. I think that's not a shocker for me. So yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised she was so bummed about it. But then again, if you're doing work and everyone else is doing the race, like yeah,
that's fair.
I'd probably feel the same way too.
That's fair.
And if the guy you like, who you just kind of had a breakup with, is leaving you out, that feels worse too.
No, I agree. Dude, I honestly watch Ashley's like interviews. I feel like everything she says is like scripted and she's a really bad actress. Now, I'm not trying to like hate on her at all. Like, I know it sounds like I am, but I'm not like trying to prod there. I'm just saying it sounds like everything she says is very scripted in her like interviews.
You think a producer is helping her with all of her like her talking head interviews?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not coming off natural. Like it's just it's odd to me when that happens.
This happened on Vanderpump Rules a lot, where like when they did the interviews, they'd have really funny quips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I know Jackson think of that. Like that he's not that smart.
Yeah.
So on this show, it doesn't happen as much. But yeah, with Ashley, it does seem like she's reading off of a key card.
Yeah, a little bit.
But she doesn't have that funny of quips either.
No, well, she doesn't have them during the show, but I guess in these takeaways, she's Picasso with quips.
But like whether or not the quips are believable, if her delivery was good, that's all that matters.
Right. And
she doesn't
it's not good. No. Sean, let's talk a little bit more about the episode. So obviously Marcos has a heavy heart here. So we spoke about it last episode. So it sounds like his best friend's mom died, who he was very close with his best friend and his mom and his best friend's mom. So that's tough on its own, but then have to cook and put on a face for the next like immediate 2 days is pretty tough. And you could tell kind of by the end of the episode, he was just emotionally drained.
It was a great episode for Marcos. Yeah, so his friend also can't go back to Venezuela either. Is that what he said? Because his friend's in Miami.
Yep.
I don't know.
Maybe it's tough to go to Venezuela, or if you leave, it's just kind of like the Cuban rules, right?
I have no idea. I'm not sure the rules in Cuba are, but
like you're like a defector if you leave Cuba,
right. Yeah.
So maybe it's the same for like Venezuela. I don't know.
That's what it sounds like. That is insane, by the way. Yeah, Marcos kills it though. The first meal with like the seafood meal, that seemed delicious as well. Lane, I think the primary, right? His name was Lane. Yeah. I like how when he puts all the plates down, he just jokes like, "Oh, hey, we're actually all allergic to seafood."
To be fair, that guy's just proving to his wife that he's dad material, because that joke's terrible.
If that was true, Marcos would have just left, right? No one would have blamed him. Like
yes.
Creme brulee for dessert, like nice too. But John, I'm watching Below Deck Down Under as well, and on that show, they just have a bad chef. That's just the thing.
The worst, man. It really is the worst.
And he's also a jerk too. Like personally, like he's not just a bad chef, he's also like a mean guy.
Yeah. And
it's just like, it's so refreshing, March and Marcos. I mean, he really, especially just getting that news, like he killed it that first night too. Yeah, Jen, anything else on that first dinner? I like how Lane, the primary, he also uses a champagne saber to pop a bottle. Yep. I've always appreciated that move. I've never had a chance to do it in my life, but I've always been jealous of people that have.
I think I did it at a polo match once.
Oh, wow.
Rough life, Sean.
I know. Yeah. Everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. Man of the people. Man of the people. But yeah, no, there's nothing else about that dinner. I guess that night just kind of goes into like one of the themes of the episode is like Gary is continuing to hit on Scarlett like pretty hard. And and I know we're like switching gears here, but like he really is spending pretty much all of his free time trying to go after Scarlett here, which he's gonna see for what, another 4 days of his life.
Yeah. John, that the first night he called her a bundle of joy.
Yep.
That's usually reserved for babies, like that compliment.
Yeah, I think he's just running out of things because he's basically saying everything to her. I will say that I think it gets to the point throughout this episode where Scarlett realizes she can't flirt with Gary all the time and do her work, and she's caught between a rock and a hard place. Because I feel like she wants to do a good job by Daisy, her boss, but at the same time, she kind of wants to flirt with Gary. But I think at this point, it's becoming too much for her. And she's just like, I got to go do my job. And like, Gary's just going to have to realize that I can't spend all my time flirting with him.
Well, I mean, she brought up a great point. Like, Daisy is my boss. Daisy isn't Gary's boss. Like, they're equals, right? I think he's the first mate. So he's probably ahead of Daisy.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's like, she has consequences. What consequences if she keeps getting in trouble with Daisy?
Yep.
they've got a few nice moments here and there between Gary and Scarlett. I mean, she likes the attention.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I'm not gonna say she's cooling on her. I feel like the end of the episode, which you don't want to step on yet, but like I think they're gonna hook up regardless, but she's saying like, all right, there's I'm getting too much attention.
Right. And you know what? It's really interesting because I feel like throughout the 2 seasons that Gary's been on Below Deck, he hits on everyone. Okay. Like, let's just get that out of the way. He hits on everyone, but it never seems to be the person who's getting the attention that's complaining. Right. So when he's flirting with Ashley's not complaining. Like it's never that the woman's getting unwanted attention. Right. Which is when like things get like harassy, creepy, all this stuff.
Right.
Like it never really gets to that point. This is the first time where I'm starting to see it where someone's actually getting frustrated by how much Gary's flirting with her. It's not the flirting itself, I think it's how much he's doing it. And it's either going to come to a head or Scarlett's just going to be like, yeah, let's just figure it out. Let's just do it.
Yeah, right. I think like Allie was like that a few times last season as well, because she knew that Sydney hated her.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. Yeah. Sydney is the Ashley.
Yeah.
And Allie is the Scarlett.
God. I mean, this guy just is a walking love triangle. It's unbelievable.
He loves it. And there was no Daisy last season to this season. So.
Well, you mean like also bringing in that attention aspect, right? Yeah.
And he also made out with like Gabriella a few times too. So
yeah.
Hey.
It's unbelievable. So Sean, let's talk about that night before we get to the next day. I do want to talk about how Kelsey was on Night Watch again. And listen, we don't talk about Kelsey a ton. The show doesn't really talk about Kelsey a ton. But she is absolutely killing it on Night Watch. She is now like 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 with waking Gary up at the right time. It's an underrated crew member. And, I don't care if she flosses with her own hair. She's much needed on the boat.
Oh, yeah. She did that again tonight.
Yep.
The little floss. Yep. Is there really? So I guess it gets rid of some stuff between the teeth, but I feel like.
Are you asking me about flossing in general? Or
it's probably better than nothing, actually. That probably is a point.
Probably. Yeah, it is better than nothing. But the other alternative is to just floss.
Use real dental floss.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is still available wherever they are.
Exactly.
Well, in Spain, of course, is available. I mean, like at the port they're at, but they can order it. Kelsey, it's really is a bare minimum. But to be fair, no one wants to be the person that's waking up your boss in the middle of the night for nothing. Yep. So I feel like we gave Tom a hard time. I kind of I get a little bit where he's coming from. You don't want to wake up your boss and then be like, hey, why'd you wake me up? This is nothing.
Right.
So, but she does it correctly. Gary's happy she does it. Now, unfortunately, so like the wind kind of does it a little bit. Then when the guests wake up, it
comes back up.
Comes right back up. What exactly happens? So the anchor gets tangled with a line.
Yeah. So there's probably like an abandoned line or rope. So at some point, like an anchor was dropped and it wasn't connected to the boat. So basically when they drag their anchor, they're picking up stuff on the bottom of the bay there.
Right.
So they're picking up these like old lines that, they're not connected to any boat, which the biggest issue that you run into is if you get tangled up with another boat's anchor, that's not good, especially with these high winds. However, if you're just tangled up with like an old anchor or old rope or something that you just caught on the bottom, it's a pain. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not the biggest deal because as long as you can untangle that, you're not pulling any other boat, but at the same time, you can't pull up anchor if you're dragging and you may just hit another boat coincidentally. So it really is pretty intense there. But they get it figured out. Seems like they pull up, they get the anchor line off and then they pull it up, and it looks like they are wrapped a little bit on a rope, but they're able to